Hello, everypony. With my analysis/review of Equestria Girls Magic finally released, I want to take this moment to let everyone know how I plan to proceed with my channel. First, I have a new design. Thanks to my friends over at DeviantArt, I now have a much more expressive and infinitely easier to pose model to work with. I also have a new reviewer hat to go with the new look, because as some of you may have guessed, I am introducing a new series to my channel, oh so cleverly named Reviewer Hat. In this series, I'll be going through the show itself episode by episode and giving my thoughts on it as I go. Since I'll be starting from season 1 and we're currently on season 7, I'm not even gonna bother pretending that I and those watching haven't seen the current episodes yet, and I'll be giving some personal observations, critiques, and thoughts on how the early seasons compare to the later seasons. I will continue to release analysis videos as I have quite a few ideas for subjects both written and unwritten, but that can only carry me so far, so I will more than likely be releasing more reviews than analysis videos in the future to avoid running out of material too quickly. As always, I invite my viewers to discuss their ideas for aspects of the show they'd like to hear my thoughts on in a future analysis video. You can either leave your comments in the videos I post or follow the link to the post on my DeviantArt page below. Regarding the Equestria Girls movies, I do plan on making proper full reviews of them when I get to them in their chronological orders. Also, in case anyone was wondering what my thoughts are on the 3 magic episodes released for Equestria Girls, I'm going to give you a few short thoughts now. Dance Magic. This was pretty cute. A simple premise, a somewhat predictable move from the antagonists, but a really nice change from the formula in the response of the protagonists. Rather than putting both videos out and being accused of stealing, having the 2 teams partner up and split the reward was a wonderful way to teach a friendship lesson and learn a bit more about the Shadow Bolts. Though it was rather disappointing that Not Lightning Dust wasn't there to get a little more fleshed out. Movie Magic. This one is my favorite of the trio, if only because of Rainbow Dash being entirely unable to contain her fangirling on set. I mean, come on. How many of us have seen our favorite books turned into movies and wished we were on set to yell at the director about the horrible choices they were making, all for the sake of interpretation? I give her. Sorry about that. Had a little betrayal in my throat there. Now, I will admit, it was a bit predictable that Juniper was the one behind the problems on set, and when it came time for the confrontation, I was just wincing at her reasons why and her aspirations to play Daring Do herself. I really do not like characters like Juniper. She is nothing more than a spoiled brat who has been handed everything she has ever wanted in life and cannot comprehend why she can't have this one thing that she wants right now. It all feels like Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon at their worst. I almost would have preferred it if Chestnut Magnifico were the one behind everything. Or perhaps an overzealous fan of a jilted actress who didn't get the part. Either way, I was actually pretty happy with the punishment Cantor Zoom dealt out to Juniper. It was a punishment equal to the crime, it wasn't received poorly by the other characters, and it had the chance to at least start teaching Juniper the error of her ways. Unfortunately, Mirror Magic. Here we have the weakest of the 3. It focuses primarily on Juniper and her resentment over the events of Movie Magic. Cantor Zoom has gotten her a job at a movie theater in the mall since the filming of the Daring Do movie as a favor. To which I have to say, what the hey were you thinking? Seriously, Juniper nearly ruined a blockbuster production, was raving and ranting about the casting in said production, and now you're going to give her a job where that very thing that drove her to crime is shoved in her face all day? This girl has anger issues, dude. She doesn't need a job. She needs a therapist. Ugh. Since the events on the movie set, the main 7 have taken to wearing their power pendants full time. And I have to say, I really like the way they fleshed out the pendants in these videos. Rather than affecting the main 7 full time, they must invoke their powers by touching the pendants before anything happens. It makes me think the writers were thinking along the same lines that I was in my analysis when I compared the pendants to unicorn horns. After all, even for basic levitation, a unicorn must invoke the magic within them before it will do anything. I'll be very interested to see how this is developed further in upcoming videos. As a villain, Juniper is just as irritating as she was when she was just an antagonist. She doesn't do anything. She struts around in a daze, blowing kisses and offering autographs. Any damage she does is purely incidental. The hero of the day, however, is Starlight Glimmer, who is absolutely adorable in her human form. She tries to use the same magic Juniper did with the mirror, but it doesn't work, so instead she comes up with a friendship speech that snaps Juniper out of her daze. Meh. Really, there were only two things I enjoyed about this episode. The first being the fleshing out of how the girls' pendants work, and the other being Sunset and Starlight in their alternate forms. My favorite bit is Sunset playing with her levitation when she picks up the book. It's a nice, subtle bit of animation that's easy to miss, but adds a little development to her character and how much she enjoys being a unicorn again, however brief it may be. Though I do wonder why the color of her magic aura has changed. Is it linked to the fact that she's a protector of the human world now? Or is it just that the animators decided red was more her color than teal? The world may never know. So there you have it, a few of my thoughts on the recent Magic Trilogy videos. As with the films, I'll be doing full reviews of them when I get to their chronological places, but all things in due time. If I have anything else to make videos of, like the Monopoly, Everfree Northwest, and the Eclipse, I'll release those as well because I really like sharing what I enjoy with all of you. Until then, this is Fauna Joy flying off.